Hey everybody, Mike Weber here with Keller Williams Realty, here with your real estate market update for the South Bay and Los Angeles areas for August 2018. So as you guys know, normally I like to do in-person videos for market updates, but this time around we're starting to see some changes in the real estate market that we haven't seen over the last couple of years. And so for that reason, I really wanted to show you guys the charts, show you the data, so you get an accurate understanding of what's really taking place out there in the market. So as many of you know, for the last few years, several years, we've really kind of been in a pretty stable environment in that prices have continuously been rising and inventory has been terribly low. And so finally things are starting to move, starting to change a little bit, which is certainly significant. Now, I did see a scare article from CNBC published about a week ago saying that Southern California real estate is crashing, and I certainly don't think that the data is indicating, any sort of assertion that extreme. However, things are changing a little bit, and it certainly warrants taking a deeper look at, as well as, keeping an eye on over the next few months. So let's go ahead and jump right into the data and show you guys what's happening out there. So first, we'll start off with the city of Los Angeles, and what we're seeing there in terms of closed sales for Los Angeles is that it's down 6.6% year over year, which is certainly nothing alarming. And as you can see from, the past couple years, it's gone up and down and varied quite a bit. So this certainly doesn't, indicate anything to be concerned about. Moving on, if we look at the time that a property sits in the market or days on market, what we see is that's been pretty stable for, over a year now, and it's up 5.9% year over year, which is just, reasonable and normal fluctuation. Nothing probably to be concerned about, and certainly this would indicate that over the last year and a half or so, the market has continued to stay very hot, and that almost anything that does get listed is going off the market quickly. Next, we'll look at the supply of inventory for the city of Los Angeles, and we do see a bit of a change here, which is interesting. Year over year, we're actually only up 2.9%. But that being said, it's clear you can see the trend here that inventory has shot up rather substantially because we started at this, all-time low or low, at least for recent history here compared to, the last 4 or 5 years. So inventory really dropped down to, being almost non-existent. And certainly now it is really starting to shoot up, and you really don't see as dramatic of an incline, any of these previous cycles over these past, 3, 4, 5 years. And so certainly something interesting and certainly something to keep an eye on going forward. But I wouldn't necessarily be concerned until we get a few months further and maybe start seeing, continued increase, say, going up this way over the next, month or two. That's when I think we'll really start to have an indication that things are definitely changing out there. Next, let's take a look at the median sales price for the city of Los Angeles. And so, as you see here, we're still up 6.9% year over year, at $860,000 for July 2018, still kind of trending upwards overall. So even though inventory has risen, we're certainly not seeing anything affecting prices overall in the market. Although the overall increase might be a little slower than we've seen in past years, we are still showing, roughly a positive 7% year over year growth in terms of overall median price appreciation for Los Angeles. So next, let's jump into the South Bay, take a look at a different market. Here we have the South Bay. This is, anything that's happening in all the South Bay cities. And first we'll take a look at closed sales here. And so closed sales in the South Bay, that is down just under 10%, which, definitely is a pretty substantial amount, for a year over year drop, but certainly nothing, critical or, below anything we've seen over these past years. But interesting, certainly something to keep an eye on, no doubt about that. So next, let's take a look at the days on market, the time that a property is sitting on the market in the South Bay. And what you can't see here is this shows 10. And so, 10 is just extremely low. That's an extremely fast-moving market, compared to, say, 2, 3, 4 years ago when we were hovering around a baseline of 40. So, since early 2017, mid 2016, really the time that a property sits in the market just continued to plummet to a point where it's been extremely competitive over these last couple years, and it continues to remain that way with year-over-year positive around 8% for the time that a property sits in the market, but still only 14 days, which is tremendously low. Next, let's take a look at the supply. So we are seeing a trend here in the South Bay compared to Los Angeles for the supply of inventory. And again, we're seeing pretty substantial increases in supply, 28.6% increase year over year. And this is definitely significant. There's no doubt about it. And this is the reason why I did say that we are seeing a substantial change in the market. If you look at the whole year of 2017, I mean, we never got over 2.2 months supply. And already here in July, which is the busiest time of the year historically, we're seeing that we're at 2.7 months. So definitely something to keep an eye on, certainly something interesting. And it'll be interesting to see how this continues to play out over the next couple months. And finally, I want to take a look at median prices in the South Bay. And in actuality, what you see for the South Bay median sales price is we're up 17.8% year over year. So we certainly haven't seen any sort of corresponding slowdown in price growth as a result of that rising inventory yet. We've had huge gains, from July we were down here at 653 median. Now we're at 769 median. So clearly prices have really shot up over the last year. So I think it's interesting to take a look at all of this, and I think when you really look at it carefully, there is certainly an indication that things are slowing down because more sellers are entering the market, they're putting their homes on the market, and really as the inventory continues to grow and buyers have more options and more choices, they're able to be more picky, to potentially not have to, get into multiple offer situations on a property. And, in some cases, the sellers that are really going to want to sell and get moved are going to start having to be more modest with their pricing, and in some cases lower their prices in order to get their property sold. So I hope this information was useful and valuable for you. If this video was helpful, do me a favor, leave me a comment, let me know what your thoughts are, let me know what you're seeing in your local area down in the comment section. Also, if it was helpful, go ahead and click the like button or the thumbs up button. That really helps me a lot. And also, please subscribe to the channel so that way I can continue to get you, good and valuable content about the local real estate market. So again, it's Mike Weber. If you want to reach out to me, if you have questions or you want, any detailed or specific information about your area, you can reach me here at 424-237-8570. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video, and look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much. Have a good one.